I invite you to follow me into a trance and enjoy a story designed specifically to help you fall asleep easily and make you feel very comfortable and relaxed. Please focus on your breathing. Right now, this is all you really need to do. Relax and breathe in and breathe out. Right now, it is time to relax. Get yourself comfortable and relax. Imagine for a moment you are at a beautiful beach and pay attention to the details. See and hear the waves, feel the warm sun on your face and the soft sand beneath you. Smell the salt air. Hear the children playing and the call of the seagulls. Fill in as many details as you would like and enjoy this moment. While you're enjoying this moment, I will count to 3, causing you to become more and more relaxed. 1, 2, 3. You are lying down, feeling how comfortable you are, and ready to go to almost sleep. You will be almost asleep, but you will still be able to hear my voice. Take a deep breath in and picture all the stress leaving your body as you slowly exhale. The sound of my voice is relaxing you deeper and deeper. Take another deep, relaxing breath in and then slowly let it out. You feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the warm sand beneath you. Allow your body and your mind to relax and slow down while I guide you into your story, safely cared for. You are slowing down, letting go. Right now, this is what you want, to let go of all your troubles and cares of your day. You feel a wave of relaxation traveling up your body, from your feet, up your lower legs, past your knees to your hips. Your abdomen and your behind relaxes. Your back muscles and your chest muscles relax as you breathe deeply and evenly. You feel this relaxation spreading down your arms and into your hands. Now it's traveling up your neck to your head, and the muscles of your face relax. Your forehead, the small muscles around your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw unclenches, your lips are relaxed and slightly parted. As you're breathing deeply and evenly, you are letting go. You are letting go as your breathing becomes even more relaxed. Now is the time to sleep. Relax and let everything go. Allow yourself to become aware of the color of the water and the fluffy white clouds in the sky. Just notice how vibrant the colors are as you relax a little more. Become aware of the sound of the ocean waves as they gently roll in, and you allow every fiber of every muscle in your body to relax completely. A warm breeze lifts the fragrance of the sea into the air as you become more and more comfortable. You allow every fiber of every muscle to completely relax and let go. It is easy for you to trust my voice and let go completely. You will be able to wake up quickly and be alert if you need to, but for now, you want to relax. You feel at peace and calm. You are sinking way down now, deeper and deeper. You are deeply relaxed, becoming more and more relaxed with every word I say. You feel so good, so comfortable, and so relaxed. You feel no stress, no tension, and no upsetting or distracting thoughts. You are becoming sleepier and sleepier. Each word is sending you into a deeper state of bliss and total relaxation. As each word comes more into focus, the outside world slowly fades away. Imagine a beautiful light that shines from within you and surrounds your body, protecting you and keeping you completely safe and secure. You can hear yourself breathing, and with each out-breath, you are clearing your mind. Whenever I say the phrase, "Go deep now," you will sink even deeper into a trance. You may notice some sensations or sounds from the outside world, but these can stay in the background and not draw your focus away from your own mind right here and right now. Go deep now. Good. Deeper and deeper. As you drift off, the sound of my voice will help you drift deeper and deeper. Your muscles are becoming more soft and your body more limp. Let everything else go. Release it all and relax your mind. You're so relaxed, so peaceful, and so warm. Go deep now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe up into your shoulders and deep down into your chest, bringing you deep down into a perfect place. That's right. Go deeper and deeper. Go deeper into a comfortable, secure, warm, deep trance. Feel the relief of relaxation as it comes to you, as you allow it to. Let your thoughts go. Let your muscles go. As you allow yourself to float through your inner experience, you are allowing your own inner mind to let you drift down and experience the ability to completely relax. Go deep now into a safe, relaxing place. Let go of the world around you. You feel nothing but peace and tranquility. Your mind is open and following my words as they guide you. You feel so happy and so protected, encased in the beautiful energy that is the light from within you. 1. Go. 2. Deep. 3. Now. 1. Go. 2. Deep. 3. Now. Go deep now. Take deep breaths and allow your abdomen to expand gently as you do. We will count backwards together from 10 to 0. when we reach 0, you will be in a deep, tranquil, restful sleep, and you will still be able to hear my voice. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The pauses between my words help you go deeper and deeper. You imagine you are sleeping and having a dream. And in your dream, you're being woken up by Willie. He is gently shaking your inflatable sleeping bag back and forth, As you open your sleepy eyes, you still see a crystal hanging over his head, picking up the gray morning light. You open your eyes and you rub them, and he stands up as you sit up in your sleeping bag. Pull yourself up a little bit, and you reach up and grab the crystal. It is a white diamond-like crystal, about the size of a golf ball. As you look into it, you see little shards of white light and rainbow light. It is very beautiful, and you put it in your pajama pocket. Willie is walking away from you towards the green golf cart with the white canopy, and he's getting in behind the wheel. He calls to you and tells you that you're to come with him, that there's something there that needs to be seen. You get out of your sleeping bag, and you put on your slippers, and you go to the golf cart and climb aboard. Willie backs the golf cart up beside the pond, turns it around, and it takes you along the path, past Willie's trailer and his old pickup truck, and you go up the hill and down the hill. And on either side of you there are trees and shrubs. There are tall pine trees and the odd prickly pear cactus. As you go along the bumpy road in the golf cart, to your left you see the row of cottages again. The people are awake and going about their business. Some are sitting on the porches, and there's some children playing out front. You count the cottages as you go by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now you go down a hill and you swerve around to the right. On your right, there is a park with children playing. Everything looks ordinary. The trees look green. The grass looks green. The sky is brightening up blue. It looks like it's going to be a very pleasant day. Then the golf cart takes a fork to the left, and you're at the little house where you checked in yesterday. Willie gets off the golf cart and you do the same, and you go to the old screen door and open it, and open the wooden door, and you're again in the little room with lots of pictures on the paneling walls, and to your right is an old desk. Behind the desk is the cubby holes, and there's the board with the keys on it. Just past this desk is a short hallway that leads to the little living room, and you follow Willie into the little living room. And there standing is the woman who admitted you yesterday, and the young boy who is standing and isn't in his wheelchair. The woman is holding the crystal out in her hand proudly towards you. You smile and nod, knowing that the crystal did this. She comes and hugs you, and as she does, she smells a little bit like cinnamon and French toast. This is a very pleasant smell, and you hug her back, your cheek resting on her shiny black hair. There are tears in her brown eyes welling up as she thanks you and thanks you again. You tell her you are happy to help, and you go and shake the boy's hand, who nods and thanks you very shyly. Willie then says, "Come out, there's something here I want you to see." So he takes you back into the little entrance room, and on the wall is a painting. It is a painting of a native man. It's about 3 feet by 2 feet. It looks a little old and funky. It's done on black velvet, and it has a fake gold frame. And the colors seem a little bit too bright and too flat. It isn't a very good painting. The man in the painting is wearing a traditional headdress of feathers. He looks to be about middle-aged. He has a large hooked nose. He is bare-chested, and the only thing he's wearing around his upper body is a gold necklace with a red ruby about the size of a golf ball hanging on it, with shards of pink light roughly painted radiating out around it. Willie points to the crystal and said this belonged to my great-great-grandfather many generations ago. I'd like to thank you for bringing this back to my people. You politely tell him he is welcome, and he leads you back out to the golf cart to take you back to your little campsite. And the golf cart turns around, goes past the little house, past the park with the children playing on the left. You go up a bit of a hill, swerve a little to the right, and past the 6 cottages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then up over the hill, and swerve a bit, and then down the hill. And you watch the cactuses and the scrub brush and the palm trees go by, and between the palm trees the sunlight's filtering through and warming up the day, and you wonder what today will have in store for you as you go past Willie's trailer on the right and the old pickup truck, and you're headed past the pond on the left to the back corner where your big old trees are, and your inflatable sleeping bag is still there. As you climb off of the golf cart, Willie tells you that he'll bring you some breakfast in 2 minutes, and he points towards the pond and tells you to stay away from the pond. He says his 2 nieces drowned in there last year. He says it doesn't look very deep, but it is. He makes you promise to stay away from the pond, and you say you will. You make a little chair arrangement on the log in your sleeping bag, lean it up against the trees, and you sit up there being very comfortable and enjoying the blue sky and the shade from the trees, and hearing the frogs in the pond, and hearing the buzz of some little insects go by. And it's a beautiful day, and you're enjoying it very much. As Willie comes back on the golf cart, he has a large wooden salad bowl on the seat beside him, and it has a large wooden spoon in it. He brings this to you and places it on your lap, and in it is something hot, steamy, and brown that looks like stew. It has big chunks of meat in a brown broth. It smells unusual, not like any stew you'd ever smelt before, but it smells very delicious, and you've become quite hungry. You lift a spoonful of the very thick gravy to your lips, and it tastes different, somehow nutty. You make a pleasant face and look up at Willie. He explains it's an old family recipe made from deer meat and ground toasted acorns. You're so glad there's such a big bowl of it, and you scoop it all down very hungrily, while Willie tells you the story of his great-great-great-grandfather so many generations ago, and how he had the ability to make crystals and nobody knew how, and how back in 1812 his people had somehow lost the crystal in the war when so many of them had gone to fight. You nod and continue eating your stew, enjoying his stories, and when it's done you hand the bowl back to him. He takes it and puts it on the golf cart, and you begin to feel sleepy again. Your stomach is warm and full. The heat's radiating from your stomach throughout the soft lining of your inflatable sleeping bag. You're beginning to feel very drowsy and very comfortable. You manage to scoot back down onto the grass as Willie comes over smiling. He said, "Oh, there's something I didn't tell you about the stew. I put some special mushrooms in there that'll make you sleep." You feel so happy and relaxed, and as you lie down, you think maybe the light's a little too bright. Willie kneels down on the grass beside you, reaches into a pocket behind the pillow of your inflatable sleeping bag, and pulls out a slightly transparent plastic hood that he pops open, and it forms a dome that goes over your head, and it's made out of what looks like dark blue plastic. As you look through it, everything around you seems very dark and very blue. It's a wonderful effect, and you're enjoying it as Willie smiles and waves and walks away, saying, "Don't worry, I won't let anyone come back here and bother you." He gets on the golf cart, and you can hear it bump across the grass, and the soft whine of the electric engine fades off as he goes back to his trailer. And you lie there, looking at the blue of the plastic and seeing beyond it the dark blue leaves against the blue sky, a little bit of blue sunlight filtering through and sparkling, and it feels like everything's a magic underwater world. You enjoy this thought as you begin to breathe deeply and evenly and drift off to sleep. Breathe in and you breathe out, and you feel yourself drifting as your eyes get very, very heavy, very heavy. They blink. You open them again one more time and look out at the blue light, and it's all so sleepy, and you close your eyes as you feel as if you're sinking back deeper and deeper into a warm and wonderful sleep, drifting deeper and deeper. As you're enjoying this very, very deep sleep without any dreams, off in the distance you hear two little girls laughing and playing with each other. It sounds like they're playing near the pond, so you struggle to wake up because you've had warnings about little girls drowning in this pond. You wake up and you push back the blue plastic hood, squint at the sunlight for a minute, and there you see two girls out on the long big log that's in the middle of the small pond. You call out to them to come back. They both look about 6, 7 years old, and they are identical twins. They have black shiny hair cut in a bob. They have a similar look about them as the rest of the family that you'd met there at this campground. They stop for a moment, look surprised to see you, then they smile and wave, and then one of them falls off the log. She falls in the water with a splash and begins to struggle. You begin to struggle to get out of your sleeping bag as the other little girl gets down on her hands and knees and holds out her hand to her sister, who takes her hand and pulls her into the water also, and both children very quietly disappear beneath the surface of the still pond. The water looks very black in spite of the blue sky and the warm sunny day. You go to the log and you go to the end and you lean down and you look into the water, but it looks so black you can't see anything in there. You decide to dive in, and as you do, you notice how very, very warm the water is, almost like bath water. And you start swimming down, and you're very surprised at how deep this tiny little pond is. Ahead of you, you can see the white t-shirts of the two of them as they're tumbling deeper and deeper down into the black abyss, and you're swimming down very fast after them, going deeper and deeper. Then you hear one of them giggle, and then the other. They look back at you, and they're smiling and waving, and they don't look upset at all. You continue to follow them down deeper into the blackness until you can't see them at all, and everything becomes very, very dark. You can't see them, and you're just sinking deeper and deeper in the warm, dark water. You're floating, and your rate of descent is slowing. You know you're sinking, but you're not sure how fast. As you feel the warm water rush by you, very calm, you begin to breathe under the water. You breathe in and breathe out, and you notice that you can breathe quite well in this very warm place. You feel very calm, happy, and serene, and you're not worried about the twins anymore. Somehow you've got a feeling that they led you here for a reason, so you don't struggle or fight as you sink deeper and deeper in the warm darkness. After a time, you feel a very soft bump on your behind as it rests on the very soft, mossy bottom of the water. As you half sit and half float there, from above you, you begin to see a ray of light coming through the water. On your arm, you look down, for you have a very strange sensation there. Against your left arm and down the left side of your body is long, very red hair floating in the water, brushing up against the left side of your body. You can't see where this hair is coming from. Then, from out of the light, you see the two twins swim towards you. They're tumbling and doing somersaults together in the water and spinning around, laughing and playing happily, and then they swim away. And again, you're resting on a soft, mossy bottom with this red hair brushing up against the left side of your face, on your arm, and on your leg. It's not an unpleasant feeling. You feel drawn towards the light. You look towards it, reach up, put your feet on the bottom of the water, and push on the soft bottom up towards the light. As you do, you burst forth and suddenly find yourself standing in a white room. A white room that doesn't have very clearly defined walls, and it doesn't have any furniture in it. And in this white room, there is standing a man in a suit. He is a tall man, perhaps 6'2". He has thick, white hair, combed back off his face, and gathering up into curls around his collar. He has large, soft brown eyes and tan skin. It's quite difficult to guess his ethnicity. Above his ordinary nose is a very large grin showing large, perfectly straight white teeth. He has broad shoulders and is wearing a gray suit with a white shirt and a charcoal gray tie. He holds out his hand and says it's nice to meet you, in a deep, rich, thick, velvety voice that sounds almost musical. You feel you've seen him before somewhere, but you can't remember exactly where. He puts his hands in his pockets and he jingles the keys and change in there, as he rocks from his heels to his toes a couple times, and with a slight English accent he tells you, "I'm sorry, it's not time yet, you're not supposed to be here." "Why would I be supposed to be here?" you ask him, and he explained that you've just drowned in the pond, and that you're not to feel bad because it's happened before to many people. And he says those twins are the dickens, you shouldn't have followed them. You say, "I've just drowned. Am I to go back to my body?" And he says, "Oh no, it's been there much too long. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to give you a new body." But the good news is, because this kind of thing happens at the pond so often, we've grown you a new one down at the bottom of the pond. The DNA isn't quite human, but it should do just fine. You can't stay here. You're too early. It's not your time to be here yet. You agree to go back to the body at the bottom of the pond, and then you realize that was what the red hair was from. He tells you to close your eyes, and you do, and he puts his warm, large palm on your forehead, gives it a slight push, and you wake up under the water again. This time, not breathing. You want air, and you want to get to the surface. As you burst up to the surface, you're surprised it isn't a long, long way down anymore. But the water's barely deeper than over your head. Your vision's temporarily obscured by long locks of very, very red hair, and you push them away out of your face. You feel a little strange in this new body, but you don't want to leave without getting your crystal. So you duck back under the water, and there you are on the bottom, your old body in its white pajamas. You reach into the pocket, you take the crystal out in your hand, and you come again to the surface, climb up onto the log, crawl along the log to the edge, and climb into your sleeping bag. As you do, you notice your body is quite taller than normal people. You would guess your height to be somewhere between 6 and 7 feet. Coming from your head and falling wetly down to your hips is long strands of very red, very straight hair. This isn't orange hair or strawberry blonde hair or even ginger hair, but this hair is red, almost to the point of being poppy red, with only a very, very slight tinge of orange to it. You notice your skin is very tanned and a golden color. Your limbs are quite muscular and very lean. You're glad for your sleeping bag because you feel extremely cold. You curl up in it and pull the hood up over your head to block out the sunlight and enjoy the warmth of the sleeping bag that's been lying there in the sun. The inside is still very, very soft and fuzzy as you lie there and breathe deeply and evenly and wait for your body to warm up. As you are lying there in a very comfortable blank sleep with no dreams and no awareness of time passing, you become aware of somebody is brushing your hair. You feel a little tug and pull very gently. You open your eyes, and the hood from your sleeping bag has been pushed back. And in the shade, as the light is fading, sitting cross-legged beside you is Willie. And he has a pile of your hair in his lap, and he's very carefully going through each strand with a hairbrush and brushing it. He smiles and says, "I'm glad you're awake," and he begins working up the strands with the hairbrush towards your scalp. You roll over on your side, and you allow Willie to brush your hair. Starting up at the scalp now, he very carefully goes through each strand, making sure there isn't any tangles in them. When he's finished, he braids your long hair that falls just down past your hips into one long braid behind your back and ties it up with an elastic band. You roll back over and thank him, and he hands you some clothes. A simple pair of blue jeans and a white t-shirt. He turns around, and as you are getting dressed, he asks you if you have your crystal. You reach into your sleeping bag, feel around for a minute, and off to the side in the crease you find it, and you put it in the pocket of your blue jeans. You sit back down on your sleeping bag, cross-legged up near the pillow, and Willie comes and sits down cross-legged at the foot of your sleeping bag. You ask him where the crystals come from. He says that it would be best that they go ask his grandfather, who everyone just calls the old one. He doesn't even know how many generations of great-great-great-grandfather he is. He tells you the man from the picture is still alive, and that we can go talk to him and find out where he got the crystals from. You and Willie work together to deflate your sleeping bag and fold it up into a backpack that you bring with you to the golf cart. You take a short golf cart ride along the field and beside the pond to the old white trailer where Willie lives, and you hop in the passenger side of his old dusty black broken down pickup truck that you're surprised still starts after a couple of coughs and sputters. You drive the truck along the path, past the cottages and the park, and the little house that's used as the check-in station. You turn right onto a small highway that's lined either side with palm trees and cactuses and an occasional other campground or resort. You drive along this road. It is very straight and somewhat narrow, and there isn't very much traffic on it. Only very rarely do you see another car. This road joins up to a slightly busier two-lane highway. You turn left onto this highway and are traveling along land that's a little more open. There's a few farm fields and some meadows, just open fields with no purpose at all, and patches where there is forest of pine trees or palm trees, or a mixture of both. It's getting very dark out, and you can't make out much of the scenery anymore. You can only see the few feet ahead of you afforded by the dim headlights. This is a relaxing drive. Even though the truck's a little dirty, uncomfortable, and bumpy, you take the sleeping bag, put it up against the window, and use it as a pillow as you relax and enjoy your ride. After a time, you turn right onto a very small little dirt road. It goes through a meadow and then into the woods. As you are driving through the woods, you see an occasional firefly buzz by. The road's a little pockmarked and bumpy, and you can't drive very fast on it, and at times the branches are scraping the sides of the pickup truck. Then you see another firefly, and another one, and the road starts getting less bumpy, and there are less branches scraping the sides of the truck. Another firefly, then two, and then fireflies that look a little bigger than fireflies and look almost like stars. After a time, you realize that the truck is floating in amongst stars going by, and there is no more road or scenery, just stars going by. Willie takes his hands off of the wheel of the truck, and in the darkness whispers over to you, "I think we better just sit and wait and see what happens next." So you decide to do this. And you just sit and wait and float in the truck with your head on your soft sleeping bag pillow and wait to see what happens. You feel the truck going up a little bit and down a little bit as it's floating through the stars. With a bit of a bump, the truck hits ground again, and again it's a little bumpy. There's no more stars or fireflies, and you're going through the dark, very slowly, only being able to see what the dim headlights have shown before you. And there's still trees and branches scraping at the side of the truck. The light begins to turn gray as dawn is breaking. Very slowly you drive along as it's getting lighter out. Willie smiles and says we should be at my grandfather's house soon. You nod and continue to relax and enjoy your journey. The very narrow dirt road ends at a dirt road that's a little bit gravel and looks slightly more civilized, just a little bit but not much. It has ditches on either side of it. There are no other cars. You notice that these woods look different. These woods are more like woods from the North Country. You see broadleaf trees, oaks, maples, and birches. They're very green and leafy, and it looks as if it is spring where you are, or early summer. The road winds to the left and to the right, and there's a pleasant rumble under the van with the occasional ping of a stone as you drive along this gravel road. Then, without ceremony, Willie stops the truck, puts it into park, turns the ignition off, smiles, and says, "We're here." You look either side, and at first you don't see anything but trees. Both of you get out of the truck and walk to the opposite side of the road, and then you can make out, in the distance, in amongst the woods of the forest, a tiny little cabin with a spiral of smoke coming out of the chimney. Willie hops across the ditch, and yourself, in your new, tall, lean, muscular body, step over the ditch with ease. Both of you walk into the woods, towards the little cabin. There is no driveway, no path, no walkway of any kind, just trees for quite a time, and off in the distance, a tiny little cabin. As you arrive there, a very, very, very old native man comes out of the front door smiling and waving. He has long gray hair in a braid down to his waist, tied with a simple elastic band. On his head is a bowler hat. He is wearing a gray suit that looks ancient and dusty and somewhat worn and frayed around the edges. With this, he is wearing a very crisp, clean white shirt undone at the collar. "Hey-o!" he calls, waving. "Hey-o!" you both call and wave back. As you get closer, you notice he is smiling at you with his 3 remaining front teeth. He has 2 spaced at the top and 1 slightly to the left at the bottom. These teeth as well look very ancient, old, and yellowed. As you get closer, the old one comes forward and hugs Willie enthusiastically. The old one isn't very tall. He's only about 5'2". A very upright, straight little old man he is, with a lot of character in his face. Right away you like him very much. He comes and hugs you the same. Him being as short as he is, his head comes only up to your armpit, but you give him a warm hug as if you were greeting a favorite child. He motions for you to come into the little cabin, and you have to duck a bit to get through the door, and the sloped ceiling is a little low for you. There is a fireplace to your right, made out of old stone with a fire burning in it, and an old-fashioned metal kettle above the fire, and as you smell the aroma coming from the old kettle, you're reminded of the delicious stew that Willie gave you earlier. There are mats on the floor in a circle, 4 of them, brightly colored, padded, hand-woven mats. sitting on the dusty wood floor. You, the old one, and Willie all sit down on your mats and hold your hands out to the fire because the air was slightly chilly. Really, the fire wasn't necessary, but it's warm and homey just the same. The old one nods and smiles and shows off his 3 remaining teeth and tells you that he's been expecting you. Willie explains to him that you seem to have a talent for crystals, just like he did once long, long ago before the war. The old man's face becomes serious as he nods and asks if you have one now. You reach into your pocket and you hold out to him the white crystal that is glowing ever so slightly with little shards of white light and rainbow lights, and you hold the crystal out for him to see. He holds it up to the light of the fireplace and peers through it with one eye, turning it this way and that. He nods and hands it back to you, and you quickly put it back in your pocket. He says, yes, she does. She has one. She has the crystal. Yes, she does, and kept nodding, and he kept repeating this, and it seemed like he was going into a trance. He began rocking back and forth, saying yes, 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 as if he was communicating with another being somewhere else. Then he stopped saying yes, and began to chant an old Indian song. You looked over at Willie, wondering how long it would take for this to be over. Willie leaned over and whispered in your ear, "This won't take very long. It should be over in a minute. He's just communicating with his spirit guide." You nod and smile and wait till the old one's moaning song slows down to silence. He opens his eyes, looks up at you, smiles with his 3 teeth, and says, "I think it's best you lie down now. It's time for you to take a nap." You're led into another small room off of the small living room. The only 2 things in this very small log cabin room are a single bed with an old white vinyl headboard with tears in it where you can see the browning foam rubber behind it, and a rickety old dresser painted blue, chipped with yellow and white paint underneath it, and 3 drawers. On the bed is 2 fluffy pillows and crisp white sheets, and a blanket that looks very much like the mats that were on the floor. The bed looks a little short, and as you get into it, you're glad there isn't a footboard, for your feet hang over the edge by at least a foot. On top of the dresser is a stone bowl, a few other knickknacks, and some feathers, and the old one tells you that all your questions will be answered soon. As he is preparing something on the bowl on top of the dresser, Willie again whispers to you and says, "He's sending you to see his spirit guide so you can get your questions answered." You thank Willie for letting you know and wonder why he's still whispering. But the old man again is starting to mutter words to himself in a language you don't understand, as he's stirring something in the stone bowl with a stick. He takes a pink Bic lighter off the top of the dresser, lights the contents on fire, and they begin to flame up for a moment, but he blows them out, where they just smolder and smoke. He brings the bowl over to where you are lying in his left hand. In his right hand, there is an eagle's wing. He takes the bowl up by your head and starts waving the smoke, chanting his strange, funny little words. You look up at his eyes and you see no pupils, just white. His eyes have rolled back into his head, but he looks like he can still see. And he's waving the smoke over your head, your chest. As he does, you feel this wonderful, calm, relaxed feeling. It has an unusual smell you haven't smelt before, but it's very calming and relaxing. It smells almost like cedar and lavender and lemons. This is a wonderful smell, and as you breathe it in, you grow more and more calm, happy, and relaxed. He's waving it over your head and over your chest, and you close your eyes as you lie on top of the blanket. You feel as if you can feel the smoke floating down onto your body, and as it does, each part of your body becomes more and more relaxed. You enjoy the muttering sounds of the old man in the background and are finding them quite melodious and soothing. He waves the smoke over your head, down past your shoulders, your chest, and your arms, your abdomen and your lower arms and your hands. As the smoke falls upon it, it becomes completely and totally relaxed. Now down your thighs and your lower legs and your feet. You feel encased in a soft, warm, relaxing, fragrant, loving consciousness. You begin to feel as if you're floating in a welcoming black cloud. As you're watching the blackness behind your eyelids, you begin to see smoke too. You're not sure if this is a vision or a dream. You feel wide awake, but inside your mind you're seeing the hazy smoke as well, as the muttering of the old man gets farther and farther and farther away. You breathe in the smoke with your imaginary self as well, and notice that your imaginary self still looks very much like your old body, as it's floating around in the darkness, following the smoke around and breathing it in with long breaths and breathing it out. You begin to feel very, very sleepy, and you feel as if you're sinking backwards, deeper and deeper into a long sound sleep. As you're floating backwards, sinking deeper and deeper into the soft darkness, you notice yourself smiling just a little bit as you are so completely calm, relaxed, and comfortable. You know there'll be answers to all your questions coming soon, but for now, you just want to enjoy this pleasant feeling and drift off to sleep. Drifting into a long, sound sleep, and tomorrow you can awake refreshed, energized, and ready to do what needs to be done. But for now, it is time to sleep. I am going to count backwards from 10, and when I get to 0, you will be asleep, and you will stay this calm, comfortable, and still until morning. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Good night.